What if the thing you have spent your whole life building is the very thing you secretly expect to save you? Maybe you know the feeling. You check your bank account before going to sleep. The bills are paid. There is some money set aside. Your job is still there. Your plans are moving forward. And yet, somewhere underneath it all, there is pressure. You tell yourself, if I save a little more, I'll be okay. If I get that promotion, I'll breathe again. If I pay off the house, build the business, reach the number in my account, secure my family's future, then I can finally rest. Have you ever noticed how easily enough moves? You reach one number and another appears. You solve one problem and three more are waiting. You finally get what you wanted and your mind has already moved on to what could go wrong next. You build your future carefully because you love your family. You want stability. You want your children safe. You want to know that when something goes wrong, you can handle it. The danger begins when tomorrow becomes so important that you stop living today. You wake up thinking about what might happen. You work thinking about what could go wrong. You lie down calculating what you still need. Your life is happening today, but your mind is already living somewhere 5 years from now. Here's the part nobody tells you. You can spend your whole life preparing for a future you never get to enjoy. Not because planning is wrong, not because saving is wrong, but because there is a difference between preparing for tomorrow and believing you can control it. Imagine building a house so carefully that every door is locked and every room is filled with supplies. You stand inside and think, now I'm safe. But what if the security you built can protect your possessions while leaving your soul completely exposed? There was a man long ago who had a similar problem. His land produced more than he expected. His barns could not hold everything. He had more than enough. So he made a plan. He would tear down the old barns. He would build bigger ones. He would store everything safely. Then he would finally tell himself, now I can rest. There was only one problem. He had solved the problem of where to put his possessions. He had never stopped to ask what was happening to his soul. And when the answer came, it came much sooner than he expected. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Tonight. That detail changes everything. The question is not whether you should work hard. It is not whether you should save money. It is not whether having possessions makes you a bad person. This is not a story about poverty. This is not a story about success. This is not even a story about money. It is a story about what you ask your money, your achievements, and everything you have built to do for your soul. Because you can build a bigger life and still have an empty place inside it. The man in Jesus' parable did not begin with a bad harvest. He began with abundance. When Jesus tells this story, he is responding to a dispute over an inheritance. There is property, money, and a question about who gets what. Jesus does not simply settle the argument. He warns the crowd about the deeper danger underneath it, greed, and the belief that life is secured by possessions. Then he tells this parable. There was a certain rich man whose land brought forth plentifully, and he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? For I have no room where I can store all my crops. And he said, this is what I will do. I will pull down my barns and build greater ones, and there I will store all my crops and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your soul will be required of you. Then whose will those things be which you have prepared? So is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Listen to the man's words. My crops, my goods, my barns. I will. His entire future is built around himself. He sees the harvest. He sees the barns. He sees the years ahead. He sees comfort waiting for him. But he does not see the one thing he cannot place inside a barn, his own life. Notice the contrast. The man says, many years. God says, this very night. The man is planning tomorrow. God reminds him that tomorrow is never something you own, but you cannot purchase tomorrow. You can prepare for another day. You cannot demand another day. And that is the question Jesus leaves with you. Where is your security sitting? Because whatever you believe can finally make you safe becomes the place your heart keeps running toward. Sometimes the biggest barn is not outside you. It is the one you have been building inside your heart. Now here's the thing. The rich man's greatest mistake was not that he had a good harvest. The problem was what his abundance became in his heart. His possessions stopped being something he had. They became something he trusted. He looked at his full barns and saw security. He looked at his stored grain and saw many years. He looked at what he owned and thought, now I can finally rest. Have you ever done something like that? Maybe you tell yourself that once your savings reach a certain amount, you will stop worrying. Maybe when the debt is gone, you will breathe. Maybe when your career is stable, you will relax. Maybe when your children are settled, you will stop carrying them in your mind every night. Here's what Jesus exposes. You can prepare for tomorrow without possessing tomorrow. You can make wise plans without making yourself the god of those plans. You can save money without asking money to save your soul. Anxiety whispers the same promise the rich man believed. Just build one more barn. Earn a little more. Achieve one more thing. Get one more guarantee. Then you will be safe. But the finish line keeps moving. You get the promotion, then worry about keeping it. You buy the house, then worry about protecting it. You build the savings, then worry about losing it. Pay attention to this. The rich man solved his storage problem, but never solved his soul problem. This is not a command to stop working. This is not a command to stop planning. This is not a command to throw away everything you own. This is a call to stop asking possessions to become your God. So what do? There are 3 things. First, stop measuring your security by what you can store. Think about your personal barn. What is it? Maybe money, maybe your job, maybe your reputation, maybe your house, maybe having every detail of your future planned before you can relax. Ask yourself, if I lost this tomorrow, would I still believe that my life has value? There is a difference between preparing for what you can reasonably prepare for and trying to control what you were never meant to control. You can save, you can budget, you can work hard, you can protect your family. But when your peace rises and falls entirely with what is inside your barn has become more than storage. It has become your refuge. So today, write down one thing you are using as emotional security. Then ask, what can I responsibly prepare for? And what am I trying to control? Be honest. Your answer may surprise you. Second, turn surplus into generosity. The rich man looked at his abundance and asked, where can I put all of this? He never appears to ask, who can I bless with it? When you have more than you need, your first instinct may be to protect the excess. But what if abundance was never meant to end with you? You do not have to wait until you are wealthy. You can give money, food, time, skills, encouragement, or a place at your table. Generosity reminds you that what you possess is not your identity. It breaks the habit of asking, how much more can I keep? And replaces it with, how can what I have become a blessing? And this is where it gets remarkable. The answer to anxiety is not always getting more. Sometimes peace begins when you stop making everything about keeping more. Third, give today back to God. Remember the contrast. The rich man said, many years. God said, this very night. Jesus is not telling you to live terrified of death. He is telling you to stop postponing life. How much of your life are you spending somewhere you cannot reach yet? You are eating dinner, but thinking about next month. You are with your family, but thinking about work. You are lying in bed, but mentally building tomorrow's barn. Your body is here, your mind is somewhere else. So bring it back. Not because tomorrow does not matter, because today does. At the end of your day, ask 3 simple questions. What has God already given me today? Who can I love with what I have today? What am I trying to control that I need to surrender today? Those questions can change an ordinary evening. Stay with me here. This is where the parable becomes a mirror. You are the person who makes plans. You want security. You want to protect the people you love. You sometimes believe one more achievement will finally make you whole. And Jesus does not meet you with contempt. He calls you back. Back from tomorrow. Back from the endless need for more. Back from the belief that you must personally hold everything together. Your life is more than what you can accumulate, protect, or prove. Your value was never hidden inside your barn. Your peace was never waiting at the bottom of a bank account. You can plan wisely and still surrender the outcome. You can own possessions without allowing possessions to own you. You can build for tomorrow without sacrificing today. That is what it means to become rich toward God, allowing God to become the place where your heart finds its security. So remember the 3 takeaways. Takeaway 1, the factual truth. The rich fool was not condemned simply because he was wealthy. He was exposed because he treated his wealth as though it could secure his life while ignoring God. Takeaway 2, the personal implication. You can prepare wisely for tomorrow without surrendering your peace to tomorrow. Takeaway 3, the strongest truth. Your life is too valuable to spend every day building a bigger place to store what you cannot take with you. Be rich toward God while you still have today. And if your mind is racing toward tomorrow tonight, stop for a moment. Look at what is actually in front of you. The people you love, the breath in your lungs, the work you have been given, the small gifts you almost stopped noticing. You do not have to carry tomorrow tonight. You can give today back to God. Which of these 3 steps do you need most this week? Tell me the number in the comments.